You know what I'm saying? So the world has always been about respect. As a man, you need to be respected. And you're only going to be respected if you do things that people respect. And most of the time, those things are on the other side of fear. We talk about the world we live in today and the problem with girls, et cetera, et cetera. The real problem with the world is that there's an epidemic of cowardice. Men are cowards. Yeah. We have an epidemic of cowardice. Everybody is so fucking afraid. It's on the other side of fear that you're going to garner the respect of other individuals. You have to do things that they're afraid to do, meaning most likely you are also afraid. I've done a bunch of shit I was afraid. I was afraid 87 times before I got in the ring and cage. It's scary, right? I lived a scary life. But by going through all of that, I am now respected. You have to learn to face your fear. I'm not saying not be afraid, because that's not brave. If you do something and you're not afraid, you're not brave. You have to be afraid and do it anyway. That's what courage is. So I'm not saying you can be as scared as you want, but you still have to go. This also ties into why you need to create your reality. I'll give you an example, man. Everybody around me is brave. I don't hang around with cowards. You have to understand that I've created my reality to the point now where I can only make the bravest decision because everybody I speak to is brave. There's no bitchness in my realm. I'm rich enough that everybody I correlate my existence with, everybody I conversate with, is saying do the brave thing. There's literally no realm for being a coward. So how can I be the only coward in my peer group?
Wait, hold on, stop giving me that. Give me a break.
So my brother used to work back in the poor days. My brother used to work in Pret, which is a sandwich store, like a McDonald's in England, right? Yeah. And Luke the man used to work the till. Mm-hmm. And every time a beautiful girl would come to the till, Luke the man would say, "Hey, baby, you're such a beautiful girl." And he'd talk to her and say, "You are so beautiful. This is for you. This is a present from Luke the man." And he'd just give her order. So I don't know what the present was, bro. Because it was just her order. You ordered coffee. Here's your coffee. It's a present. But you still had to pay for it. So he used to pretend he was giving her something. And he used to mack it on every girl. When I say every girl, please do not underestimate. Every single woman.
Even though
old, fat, young, hot, didn't make. If you were a female between the age of 18 and probably 48, he tried.
Even those fat bitches that interviewed you.
All of them, yeah. Even the police officer Dykes, he would have tried. He was Luke the man. And I knew him because I used to go see my brother at work. And I say, "Luke, why do you talk to all of them? Some of them are not even hot." Mm-hmm. And he had the most African reply. He goes to me, "I'm a businessman. I got business plans." What does that even mean? It doesn't even mean anything. Anyway, so he was doing this for a long time. Me and Tristan used to make fun of Luke the man. He was like, Luke the man thinks he's a G, but we used to make fun of him all the time. Then one day, after 5 months of Luke the man's bullshit, he came in one day with naked pictures of a 7. She wasn't hot. She was a 7. Yeah. But Luke the man's a 2. He works in a sandwich store. He doesn't speak English. He has flip-flops on. And he banged this 7. And he was showing me and Tristan with delight. "I am Luke the man. Businessman, business plans, businessman." Scrolling through his phone. And me and Tristan were like, "You actually fucked that bitch, didn't you?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm Luke the man. Of course I fucked that." And we were like, we realized he just pure numbers game. He didn't give a fuck. Yep. Ruthless. He was just ruthless about it. What did he have? He didn't have shit but bravery. Mm-hmm. All he had. Still got himself some pussy. And I guarantee there is not a single person watching this podcast today who is not already in a better position than Luke the man. But I will also guarantee you there ain't a single person watching this podcast today who's approached as many bitches as Luke the man. Bravery will take you pretty fucking far. Yeah. You're right? And that's what most of these people are missing. Because if you're truly brave, you'll have results in and of itself, but you'll also have all the motivation you need to upgrade your character to then have fantastic results.
Go ahead, man.
As a man, I say we're living inside the Matrix, and we are, but you know what we're really doing? We're living inside of a video game, right? People say to me all the time, people go, "You remind me of Tyler Durden because you inspire me to live my life," or "You remind me of Morpheus because you're trying to wake me up." I get all these different things. Or "You look like a GTA character when I'm running around with my machine gun and my in Romania and my Ferrari," whatever. Yeah. But we do live in a video game, because in a video game, you're going to go through trial and tribulation. You're going to struggle to upgrade your character. And the reason you upgrade your character is when you get more stats, you can complete more difficult levels within the game. Life is exactly the same. The levels never end, but as you become better, you stand a better chance of completing them. That's what we were talking about money earlier, saying that, if you have money, you get girls. Yeah. Well, if you have money, you might get stupid girls. But if you want the baddest bitch, money's just going to allow you to start that level. That's all it is. You still got to do the work. Yep. You still got to have everything else on top. You still gotta be fitter than the other rich guys, smarter than the other rich guys, more funny than the other rich guys.
Just allows you to compete.
Just allows you to compete. That's it. So as you upgrade your character, you get further and further in the game, but the game never ends. That's the beauty of being a man. All these men are out here complaining that things are difficult. The reason it has value is because it's difficult. If it was easy, everyone would have it and it wouldn't have any value.
Facts.
How are you going to complain that it's hard to get a Lambo? The reason having a Lambo is cool is because nobody has a Lambo. You know what pisses me off when I'm in my Lambo? Seeing another one.
And that you're hard to kill. I think a lot of men forget this. Like, okay, you know, you don't want to make the wrong enemies, but oftentimes people are afraid to do things because they're worried about the massive downside of failure, right? Especially young guys. I don't know about you, but I get this all the time with young guys going, I want to try this. That. I'm like, young is the time to try.
Yeah.
I'm going to try when you're fucking old. You got a mortgage and kids and shit. Try now. What's the worst? You're going to go broke. So, like, a lot of people are far too risk adverse. I don't understand why. Me personally, maybe it's the gambler in me.
Hey,
but
by the way,
I love risk.
Yo, by the way, you're so right. But like, how have you looked at risk? Because like, did your father and mother, or maybe father, provide like a decent life for you? Like,
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to take risk though?
Because my dad was all about maximum risk. That's all he was about. Like my dad would go to the park, hustle money out of the people in the park, get enough to go to the tournament, win 10 G's in a chess tournament, the only money he had in the world, and walk straight into the casino. Like that's
With that money he won?
Yeah. And he's like, look, I want 50 grand or we're broke. If I need another $50 for food, we'll go back to the park. He was all or nothing. He was he adored the idea of being hard to kill. That was his thing to say. I ain't gonna die. I'm hard to kill. He didn't care about like earthly goods and stuff. And I'm the opposite, but in some ways, because I have my nice big house and my nice cars, et cetera, et cetera. But from a very, very young age, I learned his mindset. And his mindset was, you know, you got to take the risk. You got to be that guy. And you also have to understand that failure really, in many cases, isn't going to kill you. There are certain scenarios where it will, but in the scenarios where it won't, you need to have more bravery. A lot of people out here are talking about, oh, you know, I'm worried if I move to, what the worst happens if you move somewhere? You move home. Like, what's the problem?
So where did you differ with him in your thinking? Because I think his thinking is dope, but it's radical.
It's completely radical. And this is what I always say, and I mean this with all due respect to my mother, who I love with all my heart. But she watered me down a little bit, and I'm glad, because my dad was too smart for the world, right? So I'm not as intelligent as him.
It sounds like if you followed your dad all the way, you're either a billionaire or you're homeless.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, one of the two.
There's no middle ground.
No middle ground.